The Securitas Depot robbery of 2006. Imagine pulling off Britain's biggest cash heist. £53 million. Gone overnight. What does it take to rob a high-security depot and almost get away with it? Today we're diving into the crazy true story of the Securitas Depot robbery in Kent, England. This isn't just a crime, it's a crime movie, but it all happened. It was meant to be perfect. Months of planning, meticulous surveillance, and a crew with nerves of steel. But in the end, even the best-laid plans unravel. It's February 21st, 2006. Inside the Securitas Depot in Tonbridge, Kent, millions of pounds in banknotes are stacked in cages. This looks impenetrable. High fences, CCTV, alarms, but none of that mattered to the crew about to pull off Britain's largest cash robbery. The planning Lee Murray, a rising star in cage fighting and the criminal mastermind behind the operation. He recruited a crew with a single goal: break into the unbreakable and vanish with a fortune. He and his team staked out the depot, studied staff routines, and even posed as police officers to get close to their target. The depot manager, Colin Dixon, they practiced, rehearsed, double-checked every detail. This wasn't just a smash-and-grab operation. The gang spent months planning to ensure the heist was successful. But the key was psychological. They needed control, and so the plan: abduct the manager, Colin Dixon, and use his family as leverage. The execution on the night of February 21st, 2006. Blue lights flash in Dixon's rearview mirror. Two men in uniforms and faces obscured, disguised as police, order Dixon out of his car. Seconds, they handcuff him and bundle him into a van. At the same time, other gang members force their way into Dixon's home and kidnap Dixon's wife and young son. Dixon is brought face-to-face with his terrified family at a remote farm. With his family's life on the line, the message is clear: cooperate or else. Just after 1 a.m., Dixon, flanked by two gang members dressed in police uniforms, rang the security buzzer. The guards inside saw their boss, apparently in the custody of police, and opened the door. Protocol shattered. Once inside, the gang's aggression left no room for resistance. Staff were rounded up at gunpoint, wrists bound with cable ties. Dixon was forced to deactivate alarm systems and unlock the vault, his family's lives hanging in the balance. In under an hour, the gang had control of the depot, the vault, and 14 terrified hostages. They loaded cash, mostly £10 and £20 notes, into a white truck. The haul, £53 million. To put that in perspective, that's over 900 kilograms of cash. They work with robotic precision, but time is ticking. Every minute increases their risk. Dixon, his family, and the staff are bound and left behind. The gang slips out before the police even know anything's wrong. Escape they left. The depot staff tied up but unharmed. The escape is chaos, wrapped in ice-cold calm. The gang splits up in decoy vehicles to confuse the police. The white truck, laden with nearly a ton of cash, weaves through back roads, headlights off, avoiding main routes and CCTV. Every turn is a gamble. Inside the truck, the cash isn't the only weight. The men know. A single mistake, and it's over. They ditch the truck in an industrial estate, transfer the cash to smaller vehicles, and torch evidence. One by one, they disappear into the night. Some head to London, others to safe houses scattered across the countryside. The plan? Lay low, wait for the heat to die down, and slowly launder the money. Police weren't alerted until one staff member managed to free himself and hit the alarm. By then, the robbers had vanished. How the group started to fall out, but here's where it falls apart. The gang had planned the robbery to the smallest detail, but the aftermath, not so much. Paranoia starts to set in. Arguments break out over shares. Some can't resist flaunting sudden wealth. Others panic, stashing millions in lockups, garages, even countryside ditches. Some members even reached out to criminal contacts to help launder the money, but the sudden flood of cash triggered suspicions. And with every misstep, they left more breadcrumbs for detectives. How the police identified the suspects in the investigation, it all started to fit. Phone records showed calls between Heist and Lee Murray. Surveillance linked Murray to other suspects. Police tailed known associates, watched as they met and exchanged packages, and, in one case, literally buried cash in a field. When the depot's staff finally broke free and alerted police, the response was immediate and overwhelming. The crime scene was chaotic, but the robbers had been sloppy in their haste. The police were everywhere. Roadblocks, helicopters, door-to-door raids. Forensics combed the depot and find DNA on cable ties and fingerprints on doors. In the abandoned truck, they found a receipt for rental equipment. A surveillance camera caught a glimpse of a face, and surveillance cameras from nearby businesses captured the truck's route. One sharp-eyed officer noticed the fake police uniforms traced to a theatrical costume hire shop. The shopkeeper remembered a nervous man who paid cash but gave a real phone number. Police trace burner phones, intercept panicked calls. Detectives followed the money. Banks flagged suspicious deposits. Informants whispered about a sudden influx of cash in South London. The gang's inside man, Amir Heists, had used his job as a cleaner to scout the depot and left just enough of a digital trail to get noticed. In the weeks that follow, arrests sweep across Kent and South London. Officers find £1 million stuffed in a car, more in plastic tubs and under floorboards. They arrested Heists, then others. Some calm, some desperate to run. The final piece was Lee Murray, who'd already slipped out of the country. Lee Murray, the mastermind, flees to Morocco, thinks he's safe. But Interpol is waiting. In a Casablanca cafe, he's tackled and arrested. Morocco refuses to send him back to Britain, but their courts are merciless. Punishment and the money. In 2008, after a marathon trial, 5 men were convicted. They got sentences ranging from 15 to 25 years. Lee Murray, who couldn't be extradited, was eventually convicted in Morocco and sentenced to 25 years in a Moroccan prison. A cage fighter now literally caged. But the money? Police recover about £21 million, less than half. The rest is still out there. Some say it's buried, laundered, spent. Others believe it's forever lost, hidden by those who vanished without a trace. So if you ever stumble across a suspicious bag of 20s in the Kent countryside, you might just have found a piece of British criminal history. Epilogue: the Securitas Depot robbery was just a heist. A heist straight out of a Hollywood script, except it was all too real. It was a high-wire act, a gamble that nearly paid off. But in the end, greed, paranoia, and a few careless mistakes brought it crashing down. The greatest threat wasn't the police, it was each other. The crew's unity had been shattered by greed, panic, and police pressure. What would you do with £53 million? Would you keep your nerve or lose it all? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more insane true crime stories.